This is Anthony from All Metal Music. I'm at the Blender Theater with Morgan from Marduk. How have you been?
Just well, everything's fine with us.
You played Baltimore and Philadelphia prior to this show. How did those shows go?
Yeah, considering we haven't been here since like 2001 and so on, playing Baltimore and Philadelphia was a great experience. Great small clubs, meeting up with great people and doing our live ceremonies. It was a great experience to finally be back here.
You've been denied visas to come play here for the past 7 years. How does it feel? My math's bad. How does it feel to be able to come here for the first time since 2001, since your tour with Theocide in 2001?
Yeah, it's a great pleasure for us. We had all these unbelievable problems with papers and bad timing and all kinds of bad luck you could ever imagine. So for us, it's a great triumph to be back here, and therefore we just decided to come over after missing out the Blackenfest. We just decided to come over and do a handful of dates just to show promoters and fans and whoever that we are able to get into the country. So in doing these three shows, then we're coming back for a full tour in November, December.
Why did you choose to play New York, Baltimore, and Philadelphia of all cities in America and not other ones?
We couldn't do a tour, playing like every coast, since we decided just to do a handful of dates. So we just did it. We just did this area just for the sake of doing one area, But when we come back, we're gonna do all the areas you could ever imagine,
How did you manage to finally get approved for a visa after so many failed attempts?
Yeah, actually, we have never been denied a visa, but we always had this problem that it's been delayed. And when we get an offer for a tour, it's like 2 months ahead before the tour starts, and we never got to get the visas in time for tour. So we never finalized the applications until now. When we did apply the last time, all three of us got it in like 1 month in advance, while they were delaying the visa for a vocalist of some strange reason. And all of a sudden, one day before we were going to leave for the tour, he got a message from the embassy that they wanted his papers translated to English, while they didn't want any of our other guys. So we had to go to a special agency to get it translated, and went back the day after and left it. And we thought we were going to maybe miss out on 2-3 shows and be there, but they delayed it for like 3 weeks. So he got the visa when it was 3 days left of the tour. We had our share of bad luck when it comes to that,
Wormwood's coming out in August. How will that album differ from your previous efforts?
It's our 11th full-length album, and I think it shows a natural progression, the same devotion that we always have showed to what we are doing. And I think it's just a natural step for the band. I think it's powerful, dark, aggressive, heavy, everything a Marduk album should be. And it's actually not coming out in August. Actually, it's coming out in Europe on the 24th of September and in the States on the 13th of October.
How much of the writing for Wormwood did you do?
Me, personally?
Yeah.
I don't know. We work very much as a band. Everybody participates and do their thing, and we consider it to be a release made by the whole band, because we all work together with arrangements. Even though if some people in the band don't write that many riffs, we still do the arrangements and we work on everything together. So I think we all are equally taking a part of it,
Have you performed any of the material from Wormwood at these shows that you're playing now?
No, we haven't. Since we haven't been here for so long time, we focus on playing from all the other albums we have done, and we're focusing more on the upcoming album when we come back in November, December.
Why did you decide to call the upcoming album Wormwood?
Because in the book of Revelation it says that a star is falling from heaven and poisoning 1/3 of the waters of the earth, and the name of the star is Wormwood. I think that's a natural description of what this album deals with, everything that is morbid, sour, and the forthcoming end of the world.
Next year will be 20 years Marduk's been around. Have you thought of doing anything special for a 20th anniversary?
Haven't really sit down and thought about it. We've been too focused on what we are working right now. For us, that will be a later issue, because now we're focusing all our attention on getting the new album out and crusading across the world,
How do you feel about the earliest Marduk material when you go back and listen to it? Do any of the songs have a different meaning now compared to when you wrote them?
Yes, I actually do. So when I read some of the lyrics now, they talk to me in a complete different way than I thought when I wrote them back then. I see a lot of different things in them that I could never imagine, and that's a great feeling, when you work on it. And when you look back on music on the older albums, you still think you could have done this different or whatever, but I still think they all are milestones that have built what we are standing on, and I put so much energy into all of our albums, so I like them equally, because they all represent where we were at that time period.
How do you feel you've evolved as a musician and songwriter over the years you've been playing and writing music?
Don't know. I really never really sit down and think about it. I mean, I just become a vehicle of creativity. I just let my inspiration flow, and it turns out the way it does. And I don't think of technical terms or whatever. I just believe in that the guitar and the other things is just a weapon or a way for me to speak out my inner thoughts, you know.
You also play in Devil's Whorehouse, and Devil's Whorehouse and Marduk have two very different sounds. How would you describe Devil's Whorehouse to a Marduk fan who may be interested in hearing Devil's Whorehouse because of you being in Marduk and Devil's Whorehouse?
I don't know. I mean, it's something completely different. It's more of kind of a darker, more heavy metal rock orientated band with a lot of inspiration by a band as Danzig, you know. So it's something different, but still very dark and just a more heavy metal rock orientated that some people might appreciate and some not. I mean, it's something that I did when I have some time over and just felt for doing something completely different.
Yeah, I enjoyed the Devil's Whorehouse album that just came out.
Thank you.
Devil's Whorehouse was originally meant to be a Misfits and Sam Hine tribute band, but then you start writing your own material for it. Why did you decide to take Devil's Whorehouse from a tribute band to a band that writes their own material?
I mean, we just started out when we had some time over and just rehearsed some old Sam Hine, Danzig and Misfits songs because we all were very much like those bands, you know. And I think it was the second rehearsal, we already did a few songs in the same way, so we decided to, why not continue to do something of it, you know.
What are some of your plans for the future after the show? You touched on some, but you have any other ones?
Yeah, exactly. What we do after this show is actually we're flying back to Sweden. We're staying home for 10 days. We're going out on a 15-date Polish tour. Coming home, we're going to rehearse a new set list, and we're having the album out on the 24th of September. At the same day, I think we're starting a European tour consisting of 30 dates. And after that, we're coming way back home, and then we're actually coming back here in November, December for a full U.S. tour. And after that, we have more tour plans to play South America and other parts of Europe that we haven't touched, what we touched on the previous tour. So we have a lot of touring coming up.
That was all I had planned. Thanks for the interview. Is there anything you'd like to say in conclusion?
I would just like to send a big regard to all our supporters, and we're very much looking forward to being in every part of this country.